Today I would like to explain why transection of Mayer's loop causes contralateral upper quadrant tanopia. We will be able to explain this question easily if we know the visual pathway. As we all know that optic nerve has got two fibers. One is the nasal fiber, this blue, and the temporal fiber, which is marked here red in color. Now nasal fiber of the optic nerve is meant for the temporal field of vision. We can see here this temporal field, and the temporal fibers, this red color fiber, it is meant for the nasal field of vision. Now nasal fibers, they decussate at the level of optic chiasma. After that, the crossed nasal and the uncrossed temporal, they will form the optic tract, and which will ultimately end at the lateral geniculate body. From the lateral geniculate body, there will be generation of optic radiation, which will ultimately end at the visual cortex at the occipital lobe. Now, if the optic nerve or any kind of lesion happens in this pathway, there will be different types of visual disturbances. It may be the lesion at the level of optic nerve, optic chiasma, optic tract, but we now want to focus on the lesion at the Mayer's loop, that is at a certain portion of the optic radiation. Now, what is Mayer's loop? As we have already seen from the previous slide, that optic radiation, that is fibers from the lateral geniculate body to the calcarean cortex, are known as optic radiation. It is also known as geniculocalcarine tract. So as it is taking origin from the lateral geniculate body, so this is the lateral geniculate body, and it is ending at the calcarine cortex of the occipital lobe. So that's why it is also known as geniculocalcarine tract, or we call it the optic radiation. Now this optic radiation has got three types of fibers. As we can see from the right hand side picture, they can be divided into three bundles. One is the dorsal bundle, blue. Then they have the central bundle, green, and the ventral bundle, which is also known as the Mayer's loop. So ventral bundle is also known as the Mayer's loop. Now what is the fate of this Mayer's loop? We will see in the next slide. So these ventral divisions, they actually, will see that from the lateral geniculate body, they first move anteriorly and form the Mayer's loop. Then they move posteriorly, and ultimately it terminates at the lower bank of the calcarine sulcus, which is also known as the lingual gyrus. Okay. Now what is the function of this Mayer's loop? This Mayer's loop, actually, they contain the input from the inferior retinal quadrant. From this picture you can see, so this part is the superior retina, this part is the inferior retina. Now inferior retina is meant for the superior visual field. Okay. Now from this inferior retina, the inputs, they actually go into this Mayer's loop. So we can say Mayer's loop contains input from the inferior retinal quadrants, which represents the superior visual field. So Mayer's loop is responsible for the vision of what? The superior visual field of vision is responsible for the Mayer's loop. Now it is easy for you to understand if there is any damage in this Mayer's loop, that is at the lower bundle, Thus, if this is the upper bundle from the lateral geniculate body, it is going to the calcarine sulcus. So there is damage to this lower bundle or the Mayer's loop, that is number 4. So what will happen? Which fibers will be damaged? Their inputs will be damaged. The inputs from the inferior retinal quadrant will be damaged. Which represents what? It represents the superior visual quadrant. As a result, the transection of the Mayer's loop will cause contralateral upper quadrant tanopia. So we can see here in the left side there is damage to the Mayer's loop. So there will be contralateral upper quadrant tanopia.